Hello, grade 4s. Today we're going to talk just a little bit about contractions. Now, a contraction is when we take two words and we put them together. Oftentimes they're used with the word not. So for example, if we have was and not, when we combine them, we write was, and then the not is the part that's contracted. So I put the N here, apostrophe, and then T, and I get wasn't. Same with is not. I keep the is, and then I change the not to N apostrophe T, isn't. And were not works the same, were, and then N apostrophe T. We write these when we want to save a bit of space. They're not the best things to use in formal writing, like really fancy essays that you'd hand in, but they're very nice when we're talking with our friends, with emails, when we're sending letters, and when it's a little bit more informal. So we're learning a little bit about them today and a little bit yesterday as well. So the one thing I want us to remember today is that even when we have these contractions, we have to think about how we make our noun agree with our verb. So for example, if our noun is singular or it's one thing, we would use something like was or wasn't, or is or isn't. For example, the dog was happy. The pencil isn't on the floor. However, if there's two or more things, if it's plural, then we're going to use were or weren't, or are and aren't. So for example there, the bees were buzzing around the hive, or all of my family members aren't playing tag today. Members, more than one, aren't is the word that goes along with it. So if it's more than one, we are going to use these plural versions. If it's just one, we're going to use the singular versions. So in Think B, what you're asked to do is you're asked to read the sentences and decide if the verb in the sentence, in this case was, is the correct type for the type of subject that you have. So let's take a look at these first two. I'll give you an example and we can figure out if they're correct or incorrect. So in this sentence, we have Macy and Aaron was hungry. Now, if you read that, you might already tell that something's off. And the reason it's off is because there's two subjects, there's more than one thing, but this verb here is the singular form. Was is one of those singular ones. So because those two don't match, that would be incorrect. If we wanted to make this sentence correct, we'd have to change was into a were, and that would make the sentence correct. You don't have to do that part, but I'm going to do it just to show you how it works. Let's look at the second one. There were fresh biscuits for breakfast. Now in this case, were is the verb, but the subject, it's talking about the biscuits. This is a bit of a weird one where it's backwards, so I'm going to underline biscuits here. Now biscuits with an S, more than one biscuit, so that's plural. Is the verb plural as well? Were is indeed the plural verb, so this one is correct. I don't have to change anything. There were fresh biscuits. And if you read that, that should make sense in your brains too. You should go, that sounds correct. So those are my hints for today. Try it out and see how you do, grade 4s. Have a good one.